On today's session we will see what is cloud storage. Cloud storage, it is a service model in which data is maintained, managed, backed up remotely by a cloud vendor and which is made available for the users over the network. Google Drive, Dropbox, OneDrive can be considered as an example. Let's now see what is the advantages and disadvantages of local storage. Local storage is something where the data is shared on premises in a hard disk flash drive or a local file server or a network storage. In cloud storage, the same information is stored on cloud storage in a data center which is accessed through the internet. Let's see the advantages and disadvantages of local storage and advantages of cloud storage. On local storage, 40% of storage purchase are not being used. You purchase a storage for 1 TB and you could see that most of the storage are not being fully utilized. In a local storage, the data part can be classified into 3 sections: hot data, cool data and cold data. Hot data is a data which we use on daily basis, which is required. Cool data is a data which we use once in a week, and cold data is rarely used data, which is either used as an archive data for some previous projects. And on the local storage, backup is an issue. As the data grows and the unwanted data is there in the local storage, the backup times takes too much. In advantage of the local storage, the cloud storage, you pay for the infrastructure what you need and there is no upfront cost, and there is a data reduction techniques which can be utilized and which data can be archived to store. The same data classification, the hot data used in 30 days, cool data which is used in 60 days, and the archive data which we can keep for 90 days or delete it after a year, or still we can keep it. On cloud storage, regarding the backup, we don't need to worry about it. This is being managed by the cloud vendor and low cost and low risk. In a local storage, once the warranty period is over, while we get the new hardware, we need to take care of the storage migration from the old server to the new server, or any device, old device to a new storage device. In a local storage, flexibility of accessing data is an issue. If a user or a person is working from outside the company, he will not be able to access the stored data which is stored in the server. And creating and maintaining a local storage system is expensive when compared to the cloud storage. In cloud storage, the migration task, the data migration part is taken care by the cloud vendor, and the data can be accessed from anywhere in the world, provided you should have a proper internet connection. And in the cloud storage, the cost, it is cost effective if you go into a reserved plan, or depending on the project, you use the pay as you go option, whichever options you have selecting, the maintenance is done by the cloud provider. And the scalability option is also available, through which either we can increase or decrease the space what we have. There are a few terms and terminologies which we need to understand while we study the cloud storage. Those are SSD, HDD, IOPS, disk IO, virtual hard disk, and vault. SSD is a new generation device, storage device, which speed up the computer's access. Reading a file from a SSD hard disk will be much more faster, and the result also is faster. HDD, traditional hard disk, which is comparatively slow than the SSD hard disk. IOPS, input output operations per seconds. This actually measures the performance of a hard disk or a storage network, which actually shows how quickly a file can be read and written back in a second. Disk IO. Disk input output is like monitoring the read write on a disk. It monitors the input output operations of a physical hard disk. When a file is being accessed from a disk, the processor waits for the file to be read, and the same it is done when writing back to the file. Virtual hard disk, it is a file which acts like a physical hard disk. This also contains partitions, operating system, other files and folders. This file is called VHD file, which resides in the host machine. Vault, it is a container to store archive data. Archive data, which is the data which is not being quite used frequently by the company, but may be needed for future reference.